Hello, and welcome to a Rygame Maths video. This is the second video for the linear programming chapter in the first year of the Further Maths unit, Decision 1 for the Edexcel specification. My name's Simon, and in this video we're going to be looking at how we set up the graphical method for solving a linear programming problem. In the A-level there are two major ways of solving linear programming problems. You look at this one in the first year, and then the simplex method in the second year. How we use the graphs are done in two different ways, which are covered in a later video. This video is just about setting up the graph as well as some definitions that we need. So the graphical method is all about turning our inequalities into a graph, which obviously has some limitations in terms of, well, we can't do it for three-dimensional linear programming problems. If we've got three variables, we can't draw it graphically. That's where simplex, the method for the second year, comes in. That allows you to solve a linear programming problem for any number of variables. The graphical method is generally a little bit easier, and it sort of links with simplex quite nicely and gives you the groundwork you need in order to do it in the second year. So this is the linear program that we're going to draw the graph for that will then eventually allow us to solve this graphically. We can see we've got our objective function here at the top, and then our inequalities underneath. For the purpose of drawing the graph, the objective function is not hugely relevant. What we're interested in are these constraints. The main thing is that we are drawing inequalities. You'll notice with these, and to be honest with every linear programming problem that you are required to solve, the inequalities are going to be or equal to's. If they happen to be strict, then you'll do everything that we do here, but you'll draw the lines as dotted lines instead of solid ones. So just as a recap for how to draw inequalities, we draw the equation of the line. So in this first case, we're going to draw the line x plus y equals 30. So you can see I've got a grid here. This is very typical with what they're going to do in the exam. It is very likely that they are going to give you the grid in the exam. So you don't have to worry about drawing a scale, drawing a grid, that kind of thing. Once you've got that, you then need to shade in the side you don't want. Now, for some inequalities, like this one, it's relatively easy to see. But if you're finding it difficult to spot which side you want to shade in, pick a point that's not on the line and plug it into the inequality. So we can see here I've picked the point 520, x plus y is 25, which is less than 30. That satisfies this inequality, so this point is feasible, which means we need to shade the other side, like this. You don't need to colour in the whole grid, just hashed shading like this is sufficient, and it's a good idea to label your lines as well. This will be very, very useful later on when you come to solve these inequalities, or these linear programming problems. So we can repeat that for the other inequalities. If you pause the video, have a go at that, and then come back, unpause it, and we'll look at the answer. So you should get something that looks like this. Now we can see here that we have a region or an area with no shading. Okay, this is our feasible region. And it's the set of all feasible solutions. So every pair of x and y in this region satisfies all the equations at once. Very typically, and often you're told to do it in the question, you label this region with an R. Even if you're not told to do that, do that. If you're told a different letter, use the letter you're told, but very commonly it is R. So this is our graph that tells us things about, or summarizes, this linear programming problem. What we are going to go to do is to use the graph to solve the linear programming problem and to find the optimal solution. So which pair of x and y in this feasible region gives us the best f? There are two methods for doing that, which we will look at each individually in their own video. Both have their pros and cons. One is easier, but you have to do more. One is a little bit quicker, but can be a little bit more confusing. But we'll address those in later videos. Thank you for watching.